conversation. Hey, Dr. Liudmila, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So glad you're here. You hear us?
Yes, thank you very much, Diana. I appreciate Fong and Sandy and everyone up on stage and in the room. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I know that you are right now a associate professor and also educator and also a researcher and a doctor. That is a a long way for you to achieve that much. So just give us a brief introduction about your career, your success. Okay.
Thank you very much, Diane. Well, I'm thrilled and I'm super excited to join your network. It's just such a privilege to be in the room. First, I would like to start that overall, I play two roles and I do two things. One is to level the playing field of knowledge around cancer treatment, research, precision oncology, to help patients and healthcare professionals to make informed decisions. And second, based on my personal and professional inspiring journey, trying to empower people and immigrants and everyone with strategic knowledge of personal enrichment, leadership growth, lifestyle modifications. So I would like to start that I came to the United States about 20 years ago. And overall, I never thought that I will be here. So when I heard Diane introducing me, I actually thought it's a different person. It's not me. So thank you for that. And time passed by, and I would like to say that you met with assumption, glamorous doctor, like I heard many times, with a fluid and eventful path to success. But the reality was not so glamorous. I can tell that childhood and seeing healthcare disparity, it sort of developed passion in me to help others and motivate to overcome challenges. So a feat that was difficult to believe at that time came as a possibility. So I was a young woman and arrived in the United States in my late 20s without knowing English, and I started at the bottom and tried to raise energy, and I had no support. I had no house, no money, but I was invited through professional line. There were 10 of us were invited initially for conference. So I came here to Chicago for conference. And of course, I went back, and then that thought stayed with me like pretty much day after day. And I was young, inspiring, and then I got another invitation, and then finally I was able to come over here, and I start translate all like medical material, working at the entry-level research position, raising child, and at the same time study for physician's board certification in language. When I was taking this United States medical licensing, I can tell that when I was answering questions, a lot of was medical terminology. And probably many of you could relate. There are some words that sort of sounds familiar. Some of them could be from, general language, and in medicine, a lot of Latin terminology. But things like occupation and some other words was very difficult for me. So luckily, I was able to pass all tests successful in the first attempt. But I will admit humbly that some words I didn't even know. So then years passed by, and tried to find medical career, and being a female was a lot of obstacles. Tried to grow and learn personally, professionally. So now I'm board certified gastrointestinal oncologist and associate professor of medicine. And I really would like to inspire all of you to make informed decisions and how we can bravely build better future altogether. So with that, I'm going to stop for a minute and see if,
Thank you, Dr. Liudmila. It's such a wonderful story. That's, you came here 20 years ago. That some people, I would say, many people told you that you cannot make it, you are not good enough. So, in what kind of circumstance you heard this, and what was your reaction?
Thank you, Diane, for this question. So the circumstances were like, when I arrived here, I tried to search for connections. I didn't really know anyone, and I was able to find one physician. So we were speaking on the phone. She was working here as a psychiatrist, and I told her that I would like to be here an oncologist. And she told me, there is no way, an oncologist? Absolutely not. This is not even possible. And you don't even speak appropriate English. And then the second, I heard many times that you have an accent. There is no way they will invite you up on stage. There is no way, you will progress. So I can go on and on with examples like that.
Yes, when I first came to this country, I heard that several times, and people came to me and asked, "Where are you come from?" I said, "I'm from Sunnyvale." I said, "I mean, where are you originally come from?" I said, "Is that important?" So that's, I think that we all went through those moments that, those questions or those comments make you feel that you don't belong here. So all of us are seeking for this belongings. I think that's really important, how to identify ourselves in the place that we want to pursue our dreams. And I know that you were a single mom, but when you told me a story, I was really surprised with the answer you gave to me. You said, well, because in everybody's mind, single mom is really difficult. You have to pursue your dream, your career, and at the same time taking care of your kids. But you told me it's easier for me to be a single mom. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So when I was initially planning to come to the United States, of course, I was married. It happened to be that when sometimes woman passes all test and exam on first attempt, sometimes that also taken as maybe you are a little bit ahead, and that was not taken well. So the circumstances trying to put me in a condition when, I belong, I have to cook and clean and not to advance and have certain things, certain ways, and people told me how to do things and where women belong and why you belong to that place. And I can tell even today, I clean my own house, I do my own yard, I also do yard work and a lot of other things. So of course, I'm not talking about wash dishes, but that came to the point where I just could not split myself in so many places and have that strength that basically stand up on my feet and stand up for, sort of for the family and everything in a good relationship, but with a good, clear mind, be strong. And I had to do it myself because that could lead in malpractice, in the bad circumstances. And I really was raised in a strong family. So I tried to develop my resilience strategy.
So you mean that at that time you had a family, a husband that was not supportive, and also you prefer to be a single, and you also mentioned that you were raised from a family, give you the value. So who was your role model when you're grown up?
So when I was growing up, we had a lot of rules and we lived very simple. So I never felt that I had, of course, we always tell that, our parents and our family, we have a lot of role models. But really, I've always kind of felt that, something wasn't, enough, something that I wanted to learn more. So since I was 5 years old, there was one time that we went with my family. We had a house, kind of little small house at the lake, very, very simple. And we went there. So my parents left me to swim. And basically, a few minutes passed by, I turned around, and there was supposed to be there. And I look there, and I don't see them. And of course, back in the days and in that country, we were very independent. No one really watched us in the water, I can tell. And I looked around, I did not see them, and I knew the path to that, little house. So it was about 15 minutes walk without the pavement on a dusty road with sort of grass, was like a hay and very painful. So I turned around, I did not see my parents, and I decided I'm going to go to that house. So of course, I arrived, and the neighbors sort of took me and started feeding me, and went back to the lake, tell my parents that I sort of ran away. And since that moment, everybody sort of called me brave. And that brave stays with me for a while. So about to answer, Dan, your question, actually, I started develop my role model by having a different people. So I kind of built and constructed my mentor, my model. So I try to take from different people things that kind of resonated with me. So instead of even now, today, I don't have one role model. I kind of try to build from, many, many people. So that's to answer. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, that answered my question. Thank you so much. Yes, your brave actually lasted for your whole life. I couldn't imagine a very young little girl, 5 years old, and struggling, looking for parents, and when try to go back home. What kind of that feeling is? On one hand, is you are really brave. On other hand, is your parents really trust you. They put on a big trust on you when you were even at a very young age. I think that's something really, in your blood. When you are in a very difficult situation, you choose to be strong and to be independent. So, what was your most difficult moment, and when was that?
So my most difficult moment, Diane, are you asking since I was little or throughout
since you are in United States?
Since I came in the United States, I would say probably most difficult that not able to find tribe and sort of looking and trying to find ways how to make through medicine. So for example, I remember when I was in the first year in training, and sometimes we have a certain tribes and certain groups, and of course my country very small. The place I grew up, we were even different community, not even belong to entire country. It was kind of different culture, and so they placed me on rotation for 9 straight months. For this period of time, usually in the very first year of training, we have alternating. And I trained back in the days when we were in the hospital for 35, 37 hours straight. Now, of course, it's illegal. And they placed on a rotation that we're supposed to alternate being on what's called inpatient service, work in the hospital, versus what's called elective. So we would go home and have sort of 8 months straight. And there was really that period of time having child and a lot of other things, go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we had to pre-round with attending at 8 o'clock. So you have to finish seeing about 20, 25 patients, and some attendings require you have to finish all your notes to write down by 8 o'clock. So then we would have rounds, and then after that, for example, we would start school, we would go all the way overnight, and the next day we would give report, like again at 8 o'clock in the morning, give the shift, and then continue with the rounds, and then go back home the following day by 1 o'clock. And sometimes we would have to do what's called medical procedures, for example, like draining fluid from the belly or and you continue with that. So by 4 p.m. following day, arrive home. And I remember some days I would leave, my child would be sleeping, and I would be, asking someone to help, and I would come home and he's already sleeping. So I would say that kind of put me in a very disciplined mind. And at that time, I developed sort of strength how to have a disciplined mind.
Wow, you give a vivid picture to all of us. A single young mom, and pursuing her dream, and taking care of the baby. Woke up early at 4 a.m. in the morning and worked for the whole day till 1 a.m. You got only like 3 hours to sleep, and wow, that's so incredible when we're listening to your story. But you mentioned that you developed a discipline for yourself, and what is that discipline, and can you describe that for us?
Discipline mind, it's actually one of the things that, and I would love to hear, of course, others in the room. So I develop always to have short-term goal and long-term goal, and then realistic goal and unrealistic goal. And what goal I mean by go, observe, act, be loyal to yourself, and then also learn about yourself and learn about others. So I would take things by small sort of baby steps, and those baby steps with a very small goal, and then little by little achieve to the next level. And what I develop also, I call it the disciplined mind and the resilience spot. And I'm going to pause for a minute, see, Diane, if I can proceed with my resilience spot.
Resilience spot, I like that. Disciplined mind, the resilience spot. So you mentioned about step by step. A little goal you fulfilled, and one goal after another. So what's your goal for your life?
So my goal for life to inspire not immigrants and other people to find yourself and unleash yourself. I call it bravely unleash yourself, and bravely connect with yourself, connect with your knowledge, with your environment, and stop and pause and see, are you in the right place right now? Are you where you belong? Do you still have dreams that unfulfilled or things not done? So my goal is to leave some legacy, and legacy not only through patient care, but from many people to see how we can unleash ourselves and find ourselves in life.
Well, connect with yourself. I think that all of us are on this journey to find who we are and why we are in this world, and what the goal we want to achieve. But for you, I think that you have really a great achievement. You received multiple honors. So when you got those honors at that moment, do you feel like your dream has come true? Or do you have another goal? Or what do you feel at that moment?
Honors to me, they not really like big of the value. I think it's a certain mark in society that we have. maybe place on CD or maybe advance. To me, the most important, I see how I can give something to the other person and that connection with the other person. So for me, if it's any of this, it's not that much, and it's very sad sometimes that in the society we sort of mark by certain things, because a lot of people, they do great things without having awards. You don't have to be a student to be a person. So I'm just very humble, and that's why a lot of times I don't even feel like any of these titles or anything, they not really that important to me. Like, find people, find connection, spend good mindful time. So that's my like my honor to be with all of you in the room. I think I'm so thrilled and excited that really I'm just very, very excited.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we also feel so honored. Actually, we have so many great leaders in this room, like Han, like Lisa, like almost all the people here in this room. I believe that everyone have their own story. So later on, we're going to open the stage and for people to ask questions and interact with Dr. Liudmila. And so I have another question for you before we open our stage is, you how's your baby? When you were just came to the United States many years ago, and what's the most important value you want your child to adapt?
So right now, of course, he's grown up, but for me, it's important that he, find himself and have open mind and pursue the dream. No one really told me to go in medicine. We were very independent, but I grew up in a more very strict environment, and I was always afraid disappoint parents and have something with grades. So I kind of felt in the box and constrained. So I would like for him to be open, unleashed, and live life and pursue the dream.
Yes, thank you. I think that he has a great role model mom, and that's really the best asset he has. So for some new friends just came into this room, and we are today with Dr. Liudmila. This is Asian Americans Network Room. So on each week, every Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific time, we will feature one story. Well, if any of you would like to be sharing your story, and please go to contact Han and Sandy. And Han and Sandy are the organizer for this room. And I also want to thank Han and Sandy. And before we open the stage and open the interactions with all the other people. And with that, I'm done my interview. Before we open the interaction, I want to invite Han to give us a reset to the room. And at this time, I'm going to close the recording because we record the first section, and later we're going to stop recording so everyone can have a free discussion. Han, microphone is yours.
Thanks, Diana, and thanks again, Dr.